Does every single European country have a video game based in that country? Europeans often make fun of Americans for not traveling very much, but we do travel. We just go to different states because it takes 13 hours to drive across Texas. But today, I am gonna break that stereotype. I am tired of being an uncultured American stuck in America. I've already conquered all 50 states, which, oh my god, I did not think that would get almost 1 million views. Holy crap, thank you so much, I appreciate it. I am going to travel to every single country in Europe in video games. Now, this is the same deal as last time. Every country gets their own video game. Before you comment, ooh, just play Euro Truck Simulator, you can get it done all at once. That wouldn't be very fun. You just want to watch me sit there for 3 hours driving a virtual truck? Hey, if you would watch 4 hours of this, just let me know. I'll do it. I'll do it if that's what you want. Also, for some reason, getting a definitive list of countries in Europe is so much harder than just listing all 50 states. When trying to get a list of them, Wikipedia, other websites, and ChatGPT all gave me different answers, so I'm basing this off a mixture of those, countries that are geographically part of the continent of Europe, and others that are part of the EU. Hopefully I didn't leave any out, I really tried to cover all my ground here. And I'm gonna be vulnerable here. There's some countries I've never even heard of before doing this video. I'm not gonna name which ones they are though, so you can't bully me for not knowing that these countries exist, so you'll just have to guess. It's France, definitely France. So I'm not feeling entirely confident that we'll be able to find a video game for every single country, but I guess we'll see. Also, just a real quick plug here. I realized that I spend so much time alone in my room playing all these video games for these videos, and it gets lonely sometimes, so I started streaming them on TikTok and YouTube. So maybe subscribe and pop in and say hi if you want to see me play some of these games live. I think I'm going to do it more in the future, but okay, all right, but let's go to the video. Let's go. Romania is notable for being the country where Transylvania is located, and when I hear Transylvania, I think of the second biggest predator to ever come out of Romania. The inspiration for Dracula's castle is a major landmark in Romania because he's been a major pop culture icon for 2 centuries. There's been dozens of video games featuring him, but there's only one series that dominates Dracula-based video games. I never played any of these games growing up, so it was tough trying to pick which one to play, but I ended up going with the one most people consider to be the best Castlevania game of all time. Now, typically, when I play older games, it's tough to get used to the controls or things feel dated, but you could tell me that this game came out yesterday and I would believe you. Oh, dude, this is sick. I've definitely heard this song before. That's because it spawned an entire new genre of games, and many indie games still take direct inspiration from it today. Wait, Richter? Isn't that the guy from Smash Bros? Although, the voice acting does tip me off into how old it is because it was pretty bad, mostly from the main character, which happens to be the guy from Smash Bros.
Die, monster! You don't belong in this world!
There's actually a few characters from Smash Bros in here. Is that Princess Peach? I also like that despite this being a sequel, you can have zero experience with Castlevania games and still understand the story thanks to this Star Wars text explaining everything about it. However, the game doesn't explain the controls and you immediately have to fight Dracula. It looks like I have holy water. How do I use the holy water? The power of Christ compels you. I don't know what to do. Oh my god, I'm gonna die already. But everyone who says I'm bad at video games, well, I just defeated Dracula without taking a single hit. So take that. Wait, I think I'm invincible. I just realized I'm invincible. This is cheating. And before you come at me saying, well, actually, Transylvania was part of Hungary until 1918. The very first intro text for the game says, journey back to 1792 at the Transylvanian countryside of Romania. Let's go! So take that up with Konami, not me. Norway and video games are weird. There's tons and tons of games inspired by Norse mythology, but not many that actually take place in Norway. Yeah, you could say that God of War takes place there, and Jotunheim is actually a real place in Norway, but I wouldn't say that is really Norway. I mean, it's all mythical, but there's actually an online extraction shooter game that takes place in a post-apocalyptic Norway, and you've probably never heard of it before because it only has 15 players. You might think that's not bad for it being released in 2018, but it was actually only on consoles until being released this year for PC, and just 3 months later, it's only at 32 peak players. Now, right when you spawn into your little camp, you can immediately tell that you're in Norway. Look, it's Norway! We're already here, and look, there's the Norwegian flag, I think. Hold on. Yeah, that's the Norwegian flag! They also have tons of signs written in Norwegian, I think. Fiske. Oh, that means fish in Norwegian. You guys didn't know I was bilingual, huh? Snack Santanten. Selv nar stemmen din restes. You know, that sounded more German. So aside from seeing some sights on the Norwegian-inspired maps, my other goal was to make a friend. Despite there only being 15 people online, getting into a match was actually pretty instant. Looking for encounter. Oh, I found something. I'm already in. That was instant. I ran around taking in the beautiful sights of Norway, and after 20 minutes, I was beginning to think that I was completely alone. Friends. No! No, friend! No! So I loaded into a new game, this time without a gun so people knew that I wasn't a threat, and I even learned how to wave, which was sure to make me some new friends.
Hey! 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 Hey!
And then,
Hey!
I found someone.
Hey! Hey!
Oh, he's not shooting me. He's not shooting me. I think we're friends. Oh, he waved at me. We went on so many adventures together. We went swimming. We made prank calls together. We got shot at. Oh God, oh no. We took a nap together. Oh, we're taking a nap together. Despite there only being 15 people in this big online world, I found someone who wanted to be my friend. But then, just as soon as I found my first friend, I lost them. Oh God, there's a lot of radioactivity. Wait, don't leave me. Don't leave me, friend. Why are they running so much? I can't keep up. I can't keep up. I don't have enough stamina. I was alone, yet again, but this time, I extracted safely back to the lobby, but I lost a friend along the way. Anyways, this game wasn't very fun. I mean, I didn't play it very long because there's not that many people playing and I have no idea what I'm doing, but it is cool that, you know, there's a lot of Norwegian-inspired things. Like, the maps are obviously in Norway. There's snow and Norwegian flags and all that. It's pretty cool, so pretty cool, Norway. Denmark is another place with heavy Norse mythology, but it was easy finding a video game there thanks to a big buff dude named Beowulf.
Beowulf! Beowulf! Beowulf!
Beowulf the video game is based off Beowulf the movie, which is based off Beowulf the old-ass poem I had to read in high school. Now, the movie came out when I was about 11, so I never saw it, but I did see the poster many times. I'm aware that the movie exists, but I'm just now finding out that it was animated this whole time. I thought it was a live-action movie. They used the same technology as Monster House and The Polar Express, both of those which probably traumatized me more than this movie would have. Look at that little freak. He had no business looking so creepy. After learning this, I just have more questions than answers, like why is Angelina Jolie naked but somehow also wearing high heels? This movie is PG-13, by the way, and you can see this scene on YouTube, but I'm not gonna show it all because I don't want to take a chance of getting another age restriction like YouTube did for my last video. Anyways, in this game, you of course play as Beowulf, except this time he has to take a little poopy. Dude, he's kind of running like he had to poop. The game itself is honestly not as bad as I thought it would be. It kind of reminds me of an old God of War game, and they actually got the cast from the original movie to voice their characters, which is a rare sight for these kinds of games. Except for the fact that they forgot to turn down the music when a character is speaking.
We sent the Grendel demon back to hell.
What? I can't hear you over the music! Actually, the sound design all around is pretty bad because even the sound effects for the first boss wasn't very good. It literally just sounds like they added a distorted filter to some guy and then he's in the sound booth like... I was also briefly impressed because I thought you were going to be able to steer a ship in this game, but it's actually just a little music mini game that you have to play. And you have to play this mini game like a lot of times in the game. You have to do it to open doors, steer your ship, control your army of Thanes, and it got really old, whatever. But speaking of the army of Thanes, that is my favorite part of the game. I love them, they're hilarious, and I would die for them.
Odin's balls. That door must be giant craft.
Did you just say Odin's balls?
There's no stopping us now.
He just said it and then said it louder. All right. That's obviously not gonna work. Did he just die? What happened?
We're all gonna die. Odin's balls, Beowulf. Heorot is attacked.
Okay, I
There's no
swear
army
he's
here.
saying Odin's balls. I've never heard that before in my life.
Come and watch my back thing. Yeah. Come and watch my back thing. Yeah. Come and watch my back things.
Wait, you guys didn't give me a yeah for that third one. What happened? Everything all right, guys?
Come and watch my back thing. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Just making sure we're on good terms. And even though this takes place in the year 507, boys will always be boys and getting excited over the little things in life. They're cheering because they went around a rock a little bit. Yeah! We missed a rock! And although you do land on the beaches of Denmark,
There are no thanes guarding the shores of Denmark.
Denmark! It's not very accurate because Denmark is actually really flat in real life. This is the highest natural point in Denmark. I'm not even making a joke right now. I'm being 100% serious. Anyways, Denmark, it's not the worst tie-in movie game I've ever played, but it's also not the best. It was okay. Spain is a country rich with history, so it's no surprise that there's tons of video games to choose from. Surprisingly, Assassin's Creed doesn't have a game there unless you count Rebellion, the mobile game where they look like Funko Pops. But the first thing that came to my mind was a game from my childhood that stars an unlikely buff bald dude.
You got a name?
I am Groot.
Wheelman is another game on a long list of celebrity video games that came out in the 2000s, but despite it receiving poor reviews, I remember having a ton of fun on this game as a kid. You play as Vin Diesel, aka Milo, who's an undercover CIA agent and acts as a getaway driver to infiltrate a local gang. As a kid, I didn't really care about any of that though, I just cared that you get to play as Vin Diesel and drive cool cars. You know, I feel like they spent more time defining his abs than the details on his face. The actual driving portion is kind of weird because instead of being able to move the camera with your mouse, you kind of use your car as a battering ram. This leads to a lot of oopsies.
But I'm glad that's over.
Oh, I just murdered her. Oh my god. I keep forgetting I can't move the camera. You can also do this cool action hero jump to steal people's cars, which is very unrealistic, but incredibly cool. But where this game shines is the location. It's set in Barcelona, Spain, and all of the locations on the map are actually based off of real places. Are these real places? Laca de Tetuan. It is, yeah, these are real places. It looks just like that. This is how I learned that Spain has a place named after George Orwell, which sent me on a deep Wikipedia rabbit hole about it, because once I learn something, I have to fiercely Google about it and learn everything I can. Wait, why was George Orwell Spanish, or why do they have a place named after him? No, he's British. I didn't know that George Orwell was born in India, actually. He died at 46 years old? Orwell fought in Barcelona during the Civil War. Interesting. I have to pee. Anyways, the game is akin to a cheap, fun action movie you put on in the background while you're cleaning, but it is pretty cool that you get to drive around a realistic version of Barcelona, Spain. If Call of Duty is the most American game ever made, then My Summer Car is the most Finnish game ever made. Now, I knew nothing about this game going into it, and everybody said that I had to play it. So to fully get into the role of a Finnish man working on his car in the summertime, I tried getting some Finnish beer. Unfortunately, my liquor store didn't have any, which is a shame because I love Finnish beer. I see beer, I finish it. Thank you. Thank you. So this Americanized the Finnish long drink will just have to do. Now everybody was recommending that I play this game and make it to the part where I at least fix the car, so I know my main goal was to get the car working. The game starts with you being born in the back of a car. Am I being pushed out? What a wild way to start the game. Hey, that's the car we're gonna build. You find a note from your parents to fix said car. And the game is definitely very Finnish. There's the Finland flag on the wall, and there's some posters in Finnish, which thankfully I was able to read. He's saying, everybody come and join the race. And it's gonna be, in Parajarvin. Now, I originally thought that this was gonna be pretty easy until I realized two things. The game is incredibly realistic, with every single piece of the car needing to be built and put together. Oh, everything came off the car. And I don't know shit about cars. I don't know what any of this shit is at all. For the next 2 hours, I slowly started to realize that this isn't just a game about fixing cars. It's a lot deeper than that. And the events that transpired are something that you can't do in any other video game. I learned how to flip people off. I can flip people off? I was trying to open my map. Then I learned how to pee. Am I peeing? I took a shower because I was dirty from peeing myself. Started a fire and then I peed in it. Tried to build the car again. Accidentally chugged a bottle of booze. Ooh, money. Oh, booze. This was a bad idea. Tried to sleep off the booze, only to wake up in the middle of the night and I couldn't see anything outside. Was it dark outside? Oh god, it's so dark and scary. Chugged some more beer so I could wake up in the morning, only to wake up with a massive throbbing hangover. Finally, I just looked up a guide on what to do because how in the hell is anyone supposed to figure this shit out? And then I got stuck on the very first step of the guide. How do I turn off the wipers? What do I do? I can't even follow the instructions on the guide that this wrote, dude. Is it even on? I can't tell. It doesn't help that I have this raging headache in the game, dude. Dude, how does this guy make it look so easy? He just drives it and that's it. And then I died of hunger. What happened? I just died. I just died from hunger. Are you kidding me? This is simultaneously the best and worst game I've ever played in my life. Anyways, Finland, very nice. Ireland doesn't have too many games there, but there is a Japanese RPG called Folklore released in 2007.
This is as far as I go.
Look, they even got Irish accents.
Get us a little closer to the shore.
You can play as two different characters, each with their own story to follow. Ellen, who is trying to sort out her mommy issues, and Keats, who is role-playing as a cool detective solving a murder. Later on, you go to a pub, because it's Ireland, so of course there's a pub, and you see some ghosts. Oh, fairies. My bad. Oh, half-lives. My bad. Then you get sent to the Netherworld, which is based off of Irish mythology, and then you battle these things called folk, and then you collect them like Pokemon and use them to fight, but then you absorb their soul and use their actual bodies to like punch and stuff and make a shield. It's a strange game. But despite the game being set in Ireland, you can definitely see the Japanese RPG influence behind it. Okay. This is so heavily Japanese. Why does the cloak not cover her stomach? I better get a sexy cloak too that shows off my stomach. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. All right, look at the cloak I got. That's way more than just the stomach. And the entire game takes place in the village of Doolin, which I thought was supposed to be a made-up version of Dublin, but no, Doolin is actually a real place. Anyways, the game itself is alright. Some of the concepts of the game I really enjoyed, like being able to play as two different characters with different stories that intertwine, and then collecting the things like Pokemon to use in combat. I think that was kind of a cool feature that not other games have done. I mean, it's like Pokemon, but a little bit different. But on the other hand, the pacing was a bit slow and really just not my cup of tea. But as a game set in Ireland, it has tons of Irish mythology inspired behind it, Irish accents, and a real Irish place, so I consider that a win for Ireland. Swiss chocolate, Swiss cheese, Swiss army knife, but what about Swiss video games? There are plenty of games that have a portion in Switzerland, but there's a 2023 indie horror game taking place entirely in Mundun, Switzerland, and it's called Mundun. I don't like their faces already. Look, you can tell we're in Switzerland because there's a goat. Now, I've played a lot of bad games for these videos, mostly because I love playing bad games, but today, this is not one of them. You are sent to the top of a mountain in the Alps after receiving a strange letter from a priest about your grandpa's death in a barn fire. Oh, there's a goat. How did you survive, little goat? How did you survive up here? You solve some puzzles and meet up with the weird priest, a creepy old man, and an even creepier little girl. Oh, what are you doing in here? Really, I can't talk to you? I just have to ignore you? I don't like you. But the coolest thing about this game, though, is that all of the textures are hand-drawn, which really add to the creepy, surreal horror of it all. And the game is made by a Swiss developer, so aside from the location being heavily inspired by its real-life counterpart, all of the characters actually speak the official language of Switzerland. And I'm sure there's a lot of other little references that I missed too, but like all the items you pick up are actually Swiss items. The game doesn't seem to be very popular, and this is the first time that I'm hearing about it, so it might be one of the few games I would actually call underrated. If you like horror games with an engaging story that you can probably finish in one sitting, I definitely recommend giving this a try. Overall though, I think it's a pretty big dub for Switzerland. You guys got a great game on your hands. Oopsie daisy, went into France a little bit there, and a little bit of Germany. Ukraine actually has one of the best games I've played in a long time, and I'm actually upset that I didn't experience it as a kid. And that's because I was a little baby too scared to play a game called Stalker. Yes, it is unfortunate that the best game Ukraine has is about the Chernobyl disaster, but it is a damn good game, and for this coming out in 2007, it aged really well. Is this one of those games where you could shoot anybody? It is. The developers were actually Ukrainian and used local Russian voice actors too, which is why all the NPCs sound great.
Keeping you busy might be a good way to deal with your amnesia.
I didn't even know that this game was open world until I actually played it, and it even has some advanced features like NPCs that you have to talk to moving around the map away from you, which makes the game feel more alive than some modern open world games today. Whoa, 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 calm down, dude. I got your thing. Oh, it's because I had a gun out. Oh, and a knife. It takes place in an alternate timeline where a second Chernobyl disaster happened, and now everything is radiated inside the zone, and you fight some Ukrainian dogs, boars, and whatever the hell this is supposed to be. Oh, fuck! No, I dropped my gun! And that was just an hour into the game and barely scratches the surface of some of the messed up stuff that you'll see. The game's map even mentions actual locations, so there's no denying that this is in fact Ukraine. It's an understatement to say that this game is very good, and I truly hope that Stalker 2 sticks the landing. This was recorded a long time ago, and I am very happy to say that Stalker 2 has stuck the landing. Thank God that game is great. Also, I got a nice DM from someone explaining that the map I was using didn't recognize Crimea as part of Ukraine. They had it as Russia, so I made sure to fix that. Belvedek is a JRPG set in 15th century Slovakia, and that overwhelmingly positive review score on Steam is very much deserved. Now, the area for the game is a bit confusing because the area of Belvedek is in modern-day Slovakia, but used to be part of the Kingdom of Hungary, so there's debate whether this is a fictional timeline or it's accurate to say that Belvedek is technically Slovakia. But whatever, I'm just a YouTuber, I have no qualifications here. You play as a drunk man looking for alcohol, and there is no voice acting in this game, but I wanted to really immerse myself in the world. I feel like I gotta read these in a Slovakian accent.
Joseph, sound the alarm. The old castle is ablaze like a torch.
I'm not good at accents. And just 5 minutes into the game, I can tell it's gonna be great because I'm already fighting a cult led by Timothy Chalamet. Oh, alright, yeah, we're fighting, alright. Let's go. Sure, attack. Am I attacking all of them? Wait, I think I'm being hit. I just died. I already died. The soundtrack is an absolute banger, the combat is fun, and the humor is just right. Look at his little smile. I love his little smile, his silly, goofy little smile. At one point, you have a weird drunken dream, and you battle a literal nightmare right after the greatest cutscene ever in a video game. There are two games that every Swedish person was telling me to play, which means I'm gonna disappoint at least one group of people here. Generation Zero and Cry of Fear. I went with Cry of Fear because not only is it a game taking place in Stockholm, but it was also a popular YouTube series by this Swedish YouTuber or something. It actually started off as a mod on Half-Life, and that game is old, which means that this game feels really old and it did not age well at all. It's also confusing because while there is a co-op mode, it is a completely different story where you play as cops with guns, which leads you to just blasting away a bunch of creepy little enemies with your friends. Ah! I was trying to... Shoot him! Shoot him! Dude, he like one-shots. Oh my god. I do not recommend playing that mode first. There is a story to it, but it like goes backwards and intersects. It just, I don't know, it was really hard to follow. But the actual single player story follows a guy named Simon suffering from depression wandering around Stockholm, which is fitting considering that's where Stockholm Syndrome was invented. Sounds like a perfect place for a man to be depressed. Now, I'm sure that this game is great. I mean, a lot of people talk about it online. There's a lot of really good Steam reviews that convince you to play the game, like this one right here. But for me, this is one of those games where I don't really have any interest in beating it myself, and I would rather just watch a 2-hour-long video essay about it. The gameplay itself is pretty dated, and it was just kind of difficult to play it, to be honest. Is that the wrong opinion to have? Maybe, but that's just my opinion. Go ahead and cancel me.
It's just my opinion. Go ahead and cancel me.
We don't have nearly enough time to go into the nuances of this video game and the story, but as far as Swedish video games go, it does get a thumbs up. Belarus was actually a little difficult to find a game for, but thanks to World War II, it led me to a 2007 video game called Death to Spies, which is basically Hitman, but in World War II. If I can do this fast enough, nobody will see, nobody will see. God damn it. From my research, the second mission takes place in Belarus, so all we had to do was make it to the second mission, but getting there was actually a lot more difficult than I anticipated. Why do I run? What is wrong with this game? I'm like half running. I stop every couple seconds. Not only did the game age horribly with a bunch of weird glitches that made playing the game difficult, Oh. Run! Why did he get up and run? Dude, he's running, but he's going so slow at the same time. Like, this is how I run in a dream. Why am I facing the wrong way? Look at this. My guy's looking very submissive and breedable right now. I also just don't really enjoy stealth games where you're forced to sit there and wait for something to happen. You end up spending a lot of time with some exciting gameplay where you're just sitting there staring at some dots on a map. This is such thrilling gameplay of just me sitting here watching things on a map move. Waiting for somebody to go around the corner so you can press a button and suffocate them. Oh my God, nobody sees me. I'm doing this in broad daylight and nobody sees me. No, they saw me. I'm addicted to TikTok, all right? I can't sit there for more than 5 seconds without being stimulated. So with games like these, if I have a choice between being stealthy and just sitting there waiting just so I can press a button and insta-sleep someone, or actually get to use all the guns and tools that they give you, I'm going with the latter. As in, I'm going to grab the ladder and oh my God, he's jumping from the top. So knowing the problem that this game faces and knowing the problems that I myself face, you'll probably understand why this took me as long as it did. Oh, dude. I am an officer. What are you talking about? Dude, are you kidding me? Am I not wearing an officer uniform?
Eingang ist nur für die Offiziere.
Oh my God, dude. What's an officer? I'm an officer. Now at this point, I was 2 hours into the very first mission and I was exhausted from saving, waiting, dying, reloading, saving, waiting, dying, reloading. So it was time to do things my way. Oh, my bad, lady. Why would you run in here? You know I have a gun. Shit, no, fuck. And finally, after 2 hours of playing this first goddamn mission, let's go! Finally! I made it to the second one.
In the winter of 1943, I was sent to the headquarters of the 1st Belarusian Front by the emergency order.
First Belarusian Front! Let's go! We're in Belarus, baby! We're in the Belarusian Front! Close enough for me. I consider this a W. Russia has a ton of games, and the most obvious is the Metro series, but there's an even Russianer game that I think deserves a lot more recognition. It's called Vladimir Brutal, and it's made by a single developer in Russia. The characters all speak Russian, and it's basically a Russian Half-Life 2. It's actually a really well-made game that I think is the most Russian game ever made, but it unfortunately takes place in a fictional European country, so we'll have to settle for another one of his games called Valakis Story. You play as this guy named Valakis, a streamer somewhere in Russia, and you're being attacked by these guys for some reason. Actually, I don't really understand the plot of the game at all because there's no English translation. All of it is just completely nonsensical. Listen, I'm not making fun of Russian language, all right, but there's no way that he is only saying the words at the bottom of the screen. He has to be saying more than that. What is he saying? Like, I really don't even know if he's actually speaking Russian. Now, while this guy's other game is very good, this game is not very good. Okay. Was that a loading screen or part of it? I don't know. The sound effect for the birds flapping wings are not very good. A lot of the sound effects aren't very good at all, but they made sure to really go all out for the sound effect in the porta potty, like almost to the point that it's disgusting. You get a couple different powers in the game, like a scream that doesn't do anything at all. So I can do like a Russian fuss-ro-da, some punch combos, and then also throwing vodka bottles out of your asshole. And with all of the jankiness of the game, I'm not even sure that his face is actually supposed to look like that. Is his face look like that intentionally, or is it a glitch? I played for about an hour just running around punching people until I got to this part where Valakis comforts a crying kiddo. Valakis calms down a crying kiddo. Beautiful commentary on the game. And this scene went on for a very long time. And none of it was translated at all. I'm very curious to know what the hell he could be saying here. I'm not even sure he's speaking Russian anymore. Now he's crying? And then after that, you fight the kid's mom. This is a bad game. It is not very good, but Vladik Brutal is a very good Russian game, but doesn't technically take place in Russia. But you also have the Metro series that does take place in Russia as well. So overall, good job, Russia. You got good games, all right? The French have their very own Grand Theft Auto game that you might not have even heard about, and it's called The Saboteur, released in 2009. The Saboteur. I can't do a French accent. I cannot do one to save my life. I don't even think I could try. Oh, oui, oui. When you first open the game, in the settings, there's a nudity option. Why is that off? No. We want that on. And they were not messing around, because in the very first second of the game, it was like walking around a minefield of demonetization. Oh. Okay, right in the very beginning of the game is already the nudity, okay. Everywhere I turned, I couldn't escape it. More demonetization! Jesus Christ, it's like everywhere. Everywhere you turn. Now, right off the bat, you can tell that this is gonna be a good game because it has the 3 N's. Nazis, nudity, and nice people. That's your best friend Jules. He's a pretty nice guy. He dies, by the way. How is he gonna escape this? Goddamn. Now in the game, you play as Sean, an Irishman who is immigrating to Paris after starting beef with this dude.
This must be that British mechanic who thinks he's a driver.
Who, surprise, surprise, turns out to be a high-ranking commander in the Nazi party. I mean, it was pretty obvious just by looking at him.
Guten Abend, Herr Morini.
So after they take over Germany, he's now living in France, and your home base is a cabaret, which is basically a French strip club. This game was actually a lot of fun. There's a lot of moments that make it feel like a French Grand Theft Auto game. Move, everybody, move! Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. There's too many people in the way! We're committing straight crimes right now. Oh shit, oh shit. I failed. Wait, I still passed the mission? We're here. I just jacked that guy's car to go 2 feet. Unfortunately, the studio shut down right after the game was released, and it did have quite a few technical problems when it first came out, but it feels like a largely forgotten late 2000s game that deserves some recognition. There is something that happens later on in the game, though, that was really weird.
Fuck me. Skyler?
Are you chatting me up? Hello, Sean.
I do not hear my name often in video games. That just threw me for a loop. Why am I in a video game? And why is she hot? Anyways, overall, this is a good game by the French. Or, well, actually, I don't know if French people actually made the game. It just takes place in France, but it counts. The most obvious choice for Italy is Assassin's Creed, but y'all know that I love to choose forgotten and obscure games for these. Everyone has played Assassin's Creed, but how many of you played Venetica, a 2009 fantasy RPG where you play as Angelina Jolie? Yeah, like you cannot tell me that that's not Angelina Jolie. I mean Scarlet, the daughter of Death. You run around killing some assassins and you get some magical powers and stuff, and it was actually a pretty entertaining game. The graphics felt a little bit outdated. They had this like cartoony Fable kind of bobblehead look, which I thought was kind of cute, but other than that, it was actually a pretty interesting game. Dude, that guy stood no chance. I was fucking him up. You start off in the fictional town of San Pasquale, but not far into the game, a character mentions Venice.
You must find the Moonblade. Find where I hid it. Then travel to Venice and use it to defeat the undead Archon.
Y'all already know that the goal is to make it to Venice. You start the game off with your lover Benedict, and not even 2 minutes into the game, he already dies. You had so much time to react. Why didn't you say anything? What? Are you kidding me?
Benedict!
This happened so fast that I felt like I had zero emotional connection to him at all. Anyways, the small town that you live in gets invaded and burned down in the middle of the night, and the game officially begins with you running around doing some fetch quests for the locals while also experiencing some mild sexual harassment.
The blacksmith has a daughter of your age, or mind you, his daughter's a bit more the fully figured type, if you know what I mean.
Excuse me, sir. I have half a mind to slap you. Don't talk to me like that. At this point, I realize I've been running around in my pajamas, which isn't very appropriate, so the local blacksmith offers to make me some armor, which, oh, of course, okay. So I got out of the nightgown just to get into this. I don't know if that's any better. Like, are you not cold in that thing? Anyways, you meet these two brothers who you help resolve a dispute about their father's will, and they agree to travel with you to Venice because it's pretty dangerous, and they're dead. Am I gonna die again? No, they're gonna die! No! Everybody around me just dies. I actually spent more time with them than I did with my lover, so I honestly felt more of an emotional attachment to them. I liked them. I liked them more than Benedict. You eventually get this thing called the Moonblade, and the combat for the game is basically a clicking simulator. Once you get the right angle, it just becomes stupidly easy. Well so easy. But I mean, there is a bunch of like magic spells and other stuff that you can do to kind of really offset that. So I mean, it is fun a little bit sometimes. Anyways, we were getting close to 2 hours now, and I really thought that we would make it to Venice by now. You travel in the sewers and face this lady who was a part of a cult or something. Dude, that outfit cannot be good armor. And I'm thinking that she's finally just gonna be like the boss that you have to beat. One little boss battle and I'm on my way to Venice. But no, after you kill her, she transforms into a snake or a banana. I'm not really sure what she is, but more importantly, why does it have boobs? And I thought that this boss battle was gonna be easy. It's the very first boss just to teach you the mechanics of the game mostly, but it was not. No, dude. I'm so over this. I don't want to play this game anymore. Oh, come on, 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 come on. Oh my god, she still has health, and I have like a tiny sliver of health. Are you kidding me? I have the tiniest sliver. Oh my god, dude, this is so frustrating. I don't know why it took me so long, but it did. Every time I was hitting her, the health bar wasn't going down. It was pissing me off. And then I died, and I restart all over again. I hated this. But finally, after 2.5 hours, yes, let's go. Oh my god, finally, I swear to god, if we don't make it to Venice after this, I'm gonna be so upset. Please tell me we're almost there. I beat the very first boss of the game, and I decided it was time to make my first steps into Venice. Are you kidding me? I finally make it to Venice and the game is broken! Wow. Venice looks so beautiful. 10/10 game. Awesome. Really awesome. I loved it. We've had a lot of World War II games already, but Belgium actually gives us our first game about an actual war. Verdun is a large-scale war game, and the map Flanders is based in Belgium. But there's a problem. Oh my god, there's only 112 people playing this game right now. So I made a new server and I waited for people to show up, but in the meantime though, you can actually pick Belgian soldiers and they shout stuff out in Belgium, which I think is a nice touch. Okay, yep, he's speaking Belgian. But after 30 minutes of waiting and waiting, no one ever showed up. So I switched over to another war-based game with a Belgian map, and that's called Hell Let Loose. And this game had no shortage of players. I was gonna try and join the French server, but something tells me that my accent wouldn't have passed. Should I go to the French-only server? Oui, oui. I don't know if they're gonna accept me. So I popped into a game that had nearly 100 players in it, but I made my own squad because I kind of felt like I was walking into a party last, except everybody already knows each other and they all just stare at you awkwardly. I kind of felt really out of place. Wow, this is a lot of rules.
My men are getting shot from the southwest of Point.
Roger that.
Yeah. Alpha, are you getting that garrison?
What do I say? And once I heard my teammates talking, I knew I made the right choice because people take this game seriously. They started throwing out real military comms and I had no idea what was going on. But eventually someone did join my squad and we actually really hit things off. Is there anyone in my squad?
Can we get a supply truck at the bottom left spawn?
Oh, how's it going?
Going good.
Nice.
Is this like your first ever game playing, or have you played a little while?
Like my first video game that I've ever played in my life?
Oh, not like the first match for this game.
Yeah, no, like, this is literally the first match.
Oh, Jesus. Alright.
I need a medic. I think I'm dying. And then I spent the next 10 minutes dying and dying some more until eventually I got my first kill.
Oh, I think I killed someone. That was easy. It took like 2 bullets.
Despite having zero idea what I was doing and feeling like I was in an actual war, I actually really enjoyed this game. It felt like a better battlefield.
That smoke looks so realistic. Oh my god!
And it was pretty cool that, you know, it had Belgium in it. So I will take that as a win. 10 out of 10. Czechia has 2 very good role-playing games to choose from on complete opposite sides of each other. Almost everyone wanted me to play Kingdom Come Deliverance, a wonderful game taking place in the 15th century. You can choose a role to play and you go on an epic adventure across the Kingdom of Bohemia, which later becomes Czech Republic. And it's a very strong game to represent Czechia. But on the other complete opposite end of the spectrum, you have one of the most unique gaming experiences I've ever played. Hobo Tough Life is an RPG homeless person simulator that has you walking the modern-day streets of Prague and experiencing a tough life.
Leave me alone.
Oh, come on. Within just the first 20 minutes, everyone I talked to was mean to me, then I started digging around in the trash and got really smelly, then I got arrested. I went to jail already!
Oh man, I'm really not cut out for this life.
Then my morale dropped so low I had to drink alcohol to feel happy again.
My morale is broken. Oh no. God damn it, I got too drunk. Oh, I drank too much. I didn't want my morale to be bad, and I drank too much.
Then I started talking to my hobo friend, telling him about how depressed I was, and the game got really dark really fast. Oh my god, this got dark really fast.
I thought we were just having a friendly chat.
I honestly expected this game to be a joke, but it's actually really well made with a lot of effort and soul put into it. And the reason it takes place there, I think, is because the developers are from Czech Republic, and so all the characters do speak Czech. Which leaves Czechia with 2 very good role-playing games on 2 opposite sides of each other, so I'll leave it up to y'all to decide which you think suits Czechia better. Poland actually makes some great video games, but it's difficult finding a game that actually takes place there. For some reason, they can pump out huge AAA titles for everywhere that's not their own country. But there is Darkwood, a top-down survival horror game that apparently takes place in a creepy forest in Poland. This game is actually in my very long list of games that I played for less than an hour and never touched again, so I'm actually loading up an old save that's just past the tutorial section, so my goal is play until I die, which, considering the game literally tells you are playing a challenging and unforgiving game, you will not be led by the hand, respect the woods, be patient, focus. I'm not really expecting much. I spent the first day preparing my base for darkness by doing some chores like getting wood, boarding up windows, and stepping on every single bear trap possible. Oh my god! Fuck. So many bear traps. There is a story to the game, but the main gameplay is prepping your base for survival because come nighttime, things start to get really creepy.
It's getting really dark and I'm scared. It's almost like we're in the dark wood. Oh, whoa. Dude, is my place haunted? What the hell?
But we survived the first night, and on day 2, I met some friendly wolfman thing, but I'm not really sure if I'm hallucinating that. I got a little bit hungry, so I went and stole some meat from some dogs.
Oh my god. Oh god. Oh, there's like 16 dogs. I'm gonna steal your meat. I stole your meat.
And then I explored an underground cave with no flashlight because I'm a complete badass. Then later on, the friendly wolfman told me to meet him in the silent forest, but to make sure I was prepared first because it's very dangerous there. So I immediately went to the silent forest and found a totally not creepy house.
Oh god! What hit me? Oh shit! What is that? I died already.
I didn't think a bunch of pixels could be scary, but yet here we are. The game shatters a bunch of different genres and ends up being one of the most unique games out there. Despite it being top down and very pixelated, like it is actually pretty scary, especially the noises that you hear at night. So again, Poland is out here making banger video games, except this one actually takes place in Poland. So good job, Poland. Please keep making games. I'm sorry about the studio shutting down though. Hopefully you guys come back. There's a around 50 countries in Europe, and I'll be honest, geography is not my strong suit, so there's gonna be quite a few countries that I don't know much about, and Kosovo is one of those places. But thanks to a 2000 shooter game called Soldier of Fortune, I can go there and learn some more about the country. Before Raven Software became known for Call of Duty, they put out this game where you play as a US mercenary. The main selling point for the game was the GUID engine that included realistic body physics and being able to shoot any body part and the enemy reacting to it. Kinda like Battlefield's destructible environments, except with body parts. I can't really show much gameplay here because YouTube actually age restricted my last video for literally 3 seconds from Fallout New Vegas when a bomb explodes. So I'm not really taking any risks here, I'm sorry. Oh my god, dude. This game is pretty gory. Just believe me, it's pretty graphic, and there's actually 21 different parts of the body that you can shoot. It's insane. It was actually kind of a weird experience because the game looks and feels very dated. The controls are weird, the mouse aiming stutters along, and there's the occasional glitchiness, but then suddenly I shoot a bad guy in the leg and he's hopping on one foot crying about it. My bad. It feels more realistic than some modern games now. It actually caused a lot of controversy back then, with Germany even adding it to their Butenspruchfastel für Jugendgefährdeten Media. The Federal Review Board for Media Harmful to Minors is what they're called. The game goes all across the country in different missions, with the first one being in a New York subway, the second on a train in Uganda, and finally the third in the underground of Kosovo. I ended up playing through the mission because I was hoping to at least see the city, and to my surprise, we actually do go to the surface at the end, and we see the beautiful town of Grasanica, Kosovo. Netherlands actually has a lot of games featuring somewhere there, but I actually found the most Netherlands game ever made. So much so that the game is entirely in Dutch. And like with every game made before 2005, I'm risking my entire computer and every virus possible trying to download this game. Yep, looks good to me. And it made it worse by the fact that everything was in Dutch, so I had no idea what I was agreeing to or clicking on. Oh shit, I don't know what that means. But after a lot of Google Translate later, I realized that the game was telling me I didn't have the CD, so I ended up finding the completely legal files to confirm that I do have the original CD to play the game Amsterdam. It's working! Let's go! Amsterdam came out in 2000, and it's literally just a Doom game set in Amsterdam, except they specifically made it with no blood or gore to try and appeal to the widest audience possible. They even made a version specifically for tourists called Amsterdam Monster Madness. They really wanted everyone to play this game, yet this is the first time I'm hearing about it. Even the Wikipedia page for the game is only in Dutch. Anyways, the game itself was okay. I had no idea what was going on because, again, everything is in Dutch, and it also ran pretty badly, but that's probably because of the way I downloaded it. Anytime text popped on screen, it would lag really bad. But it does take place in the Netherlands, and it's made by Netherlands people, so I think it's a good choice. What the hell are these things? Amsterdam locals? But there's also a game called A2 Racer that's even older than this game, that's also made by people in the Netherlands, but that's a racing game, so. Do y'all remember the game Scum, the prison survival game that came out in 2018 and it's still in early access 6 years later? Somehow that game still has 10,469 in game. That's actually a really healthy game. I actually bought this game when it first released, played it for an hour, and I never touched it again until this very moment because it happens to take place in Croatia. If you've never heard of this game, it's basically a mix of DayZ and Rust, except with every single aspect of your character being managed. Food, hunger, calories, every single vitamin possible, even penis size. I could live out my wildest fantasy in this dream. I hopped into one of the few English servers I could find and immediately started falling straight into Zagreb, Croatia. Is this what Croatia looks like? I mean, at least I get like a really good view of Croatia right when I start the game. I tried making a friend to show me the ropes, but when I told them I was new, they just said Lamau. Side note, I absolutely love the options in the pause menu. Options, add to favorites, commit suicide, report illegal content. Anyways, the map is huge and doesn't offer support for many players, so after running around for 15 minutes, I didn't find a single person until running into this zombie thing called a puppet. What the hell is that? Hey buddy, you doing okay, buddy? Holy shit, there's zombies in this game? I thought this was like, I didn't know this was a zombie game. Scum is a really hard game and definitely takes a lot longer than an hour to get used to, but shout out to Croatia for having a dedicated kind of open world game. Iceland was actually pretty easy to find a video game for thanks to a recent game called Senua's Saga Hellblade 2. It actually takes place in 9th century Iceland, and it's a shame that this game got as much hate as it did. The game got a lot of hate for only being around 8 hours long, but it's not about how long something is, it's about the quality of it. Something can be short and still really great. Ask your ex-girlfriend. But visually, it's one of the most graphically stunning games I've ever played. In the beginning, I thought the cutscene was all pre-rendered until it went straight into the gameplay. Dude, that was like seamless. The graphics are insane on this game, holy shit. And if you like ASMR, playing this game with headphones is a mind-blowing experience. It's like having your brain tickled the entire time as you hear creepy whispers in your ear. But, you know, I get it. If you weren't already a fan of the first one, there are some things in the game that make it tough to get into, like the whole game being in widescreen or the combat being a bit repetitive. Without Game Pass, I do find it hard to justify spending $50 on this game. However, the developer spent a lot of time researching Iceland, making this a very faithful choice for the country and one of the most visually stunning games ever made so far. The map I printed left out Cyprus, but it is part of the EU, so I drew it on the map. Looks good. And despite being forgotten out of the map, I did actually find a video game that specifically mentioned Cyprus and spent some time there. The first Templar came out in 2011 and largely forgotten, probably because it looks like a generic Assassin's Creed type game. You play as two guys discovering the secrets of the Templar Order, and even by 2011 standards, everything felt pretty dated.
Bring you no money. We bring you swords.
Wow, that was intimidating. It has a lot of RPG elements to it, and you can switch between the two main characters or play in couch co-op, which is probably the coolest thing about the game. Whoa, he came out of nowhere! That and the Coolio reference.
Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil.
Isn't that the song? And I walk through the valley in the shadow of death, and a mine and a burn. I don't know the rest of the words. But what took me out the most was the very first enemy I killed, I heard the famous Wilhelm scream. Did they just add the Wilman, I don't know how to say it, the Wilhelm scream in a video game? I was gonna use that as another point why this game felt generic, but after looking into it, a lot of games have actually used the sound effect before, but I think what made it worse is within just 20 minutes, I heard it 4 times. Again. 4 times. But the whole intro section of the game takes place on Cyprus, and the game even mentions it in the very first cutscene. Cyprus 1291. And the game is broken. Despite Luxembourg being teeny tiny, the same size as Rhode Island, I did actually find a game including it. Fernbus Simulator is basically a ripoff of Euro Truck Simulator, except you drive across Europe delivering passengers using the famous Flixbuses. All right, let's just check the rows, make sure there's no stragglers, everything's clean. Yep, looks pretty clean. This looks pretty comfy. I've been in some nice buses before. It's kind of like sometimes it can feel like a fancy airplane, but on the ground. The graphics look worse, the game runs worse, but it does include a free DLC for Luxembourg. So all we had to do was drive from Stuttgart, Germany to Luxembourg. Yeah, Luxembourg should be over here somewhere. Wait, hold on, let me see. Capital of Luxembourg. The capital of Luxembourg is just Luxembourg City. That's so unoriginal. Come on, Luxembourg. You guys can come up with a better capital city name than Luxembourg City. The bus was actually pretty cool, with every single knob and button being pressable, like closing the restrooms, turning on the Wi-Fi, and even a working radio. However, when I got to my first stop, the game broke already because I had to check in the passengers, and no matter what I did, they absolutely refused to get on the bus. Why are they just staring at me? Do I have to announce the arrival? Oh, maybe I have to turn on the arrival headlight or something? How do I check in the passengers? All right, Skyler, use your critical thinking here. Do I have to click on them? Maybe I'm not. Oops. Okay, I gotta Google this shit. I don't know what I'm doing. Log in. Okay, so I logged in. Destination display on. Open the luggage compartment hatches. It's not working! It's not working! Hold on. Wait a second. Are you guys twins? Wait, you guys are twins too!
Wait a second, you guys are quadruplets! So I restarted the game, and because they wasted 30 minutes of my life, we had a new goal in mind. Because all you bitches wanted to waste my time earlier, this bus is not making any stops or brakes. In fact, I'm disconnecting the brake lines. The drive itself was actually pretty peaceful. Sometimes the passengers would complain about something, but just like real life, you can just ignore them until they shut up. Oh, sorry, took out a pull. That's fine. And the radio actually helped pass the time because they started playing songs I actually knew. Since 90% of the drive was freeway, it was actually pretty easy to not use the brakes at all until I had to take an exit. Oh shit, I gotta get off here. It's my exit. Oh, it's my exit. And then a song started playing on the radio that never in a million years would I have ever guessed would start playing in this random ass little Steam game. Why is Sabrina Carpenter in this game? She's even here in Fernbus Simulator. So now, with Sabrina Carpenter powering me for the rest of the drive, I was focused on getting to our destination ahead of schedule. Excuse me, emergency bus coming through. Oh no, oh no, oh no, this is tight, this is tight. Oops, oops, oops. Oh, we're good, we're good, we're good. Just a little bumpty-doo. Shit! Ooh, that was close. Vehicle off-road? You're damn right I am. Can I make it? Can I make it? No, I can't make it. I can't make it. I can't relate to desperation. Oh, my bad, my bad. Hey, you shouldn't have tried passing me, dude. Oh, you're still gonna try passing me? I should have rammed him off. No more passing. No more passing. What am I hitting? Dude! Don't try and pass me! 25 kilometers to go. We're almost there, baby. No, the car's braking. The car's braking. God damn it, where did that guardrail come from? We made it! Before schedule, I can't believe it. I definitely can. We made it to Luxembourg. Unspecified city, because I'm not really sure where we are. It doesn't even say Luxembourg City or anything. It just says Luxembourg. And look at that. Not a scratch on the bus. Video games have completely changed at 3 different points in history. In 1998 with the release of Half-Life 1, 2004 with Half-Life 2, and in 2020 with Half-Life Alyx. Dude, this part was just mind-blowing too. Look, you can even see the residue. Oh, you could erase it with your finger too.
We'll be there soon.
It's been nearly 5 years, and no virtual reality game has even come close to the level of detail and immersion that Alyx provided. Oh my god, that's actually sick. If I throw the marker, it leaves like a little streak. Valve games hold a special place in my heart, and I know that we shouldn't love corporations, but I love Valve. They're like the H-Bomber guy of video games, hiding in silence until something is worth talking about and dropping an absolute banger that leaves everyone stunned. Now, I've loved virtual reality since the original Oculus Rift, and it's an exciting time to be alive, getting to experience an entirely new way to play video games, and I really hope Valve continues to invest in the technology because no one has ever been able to come close to Half-Life Alyx. And despite growing up and spending hours and hours in Source Engine games and other mods, I've never actually beat any Half-Life game besides Alyx. I kind of want to do a YouTube video beating all of them in one video. Would you guys watch that? Anyways, City 17 technically takes place in a fictional European city, but it was heavily modeled and inspired off of the real city of Sofia, Bulgaria. You can find real-life landmarks and references to it throughout the game, so it really is the best representation of Bulgaria than any other game out there, even if it doesn't specifically mention it, but it still counts, right? I don't even know if Monaco's on here. Is it so? Where is Monaco? Is it even part of the EU? Oh, it says it's surrounded by France, so it should be over here somewhere. Monaco is one of the smallest countries in the world, literally the same size of Central Park in New York City. But everyone knows its name because of its racing culture, so it's only right to pick a racing game for this. So I busted out the steering wheel and a VR headset with the goal of completing the hardest course on Dirt Rally 2.0. I don't know if Monaco's actually the hardest course. I read it somewhere, but it makes it sound more dramatic, so. But if I crash in the game, I crash in real life. Meaning I have to start all over. Now, the Monaco route has a bunch of ice and snow, and I know nothing about cars or rally driving, so I just picked whichever car looked cool. I mean, Subaru, right? Subaru's got to be good. Turbo, 4 cylinders. Yeah, sure, why not? And at first, I tried to get a fast time, which led to quite a bit of restarts. No.
Types 3.
Okay, not a good start. Eventually, I realized that I just need to take it nice and slow if I had any hope of beating this course. Dude, everyone's like watching this. They're probably like, Jesus, this is the slowest rally I've ever seen in my life. Oh, that was a good one. That was a good turn right there. Oh no, snow and ice starts now. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, we gotta take it real slow here. Here, I have to pee too. What do rally drivers do when they have to pee? Let's go, we made it! 9 minutes and 32 seconds. And despite me being the most careful and probably the most boring rally car driver in the world, I actually made it onto the leaderboard. We are placed 8,521, right above SXSSSSSSSSSSSSSS by just a couple milliseconds. So not that bad, I would say. And I did all of that just to learn that the Monte Carlo map doesn't even take place in Monaco, and it's actually in France. I was bamboozled, so here is a clip of me trying to play Assetto Corso with the Monte Carlo map that is actually in Monaco, but struggling to play because I never learned how to play this game and I suck at racing games. Okay. Now, technically, the UK is all one country, but it wouldn't be fair to have one game representing all of these areas. So we're finally in Britain, mate. I can't do an accent. I can't. England has dozens of games to choose from, but y'all already know that I have to get weird. So I chose The Getaway, a 2002 GTA-like game for PS2 about British gangsters. And you can tell right off the bat that we're in London because they talk very funny.
Charlie says they never see it coming from a bird. What? She's a topper.
You what, mate? This game was very ambitious for the time, with many interesting features like being delayed 2 years to work on high-quality textures, licensing actual vehicle brands. A Range Rover? Ooh. It even says Range Rover on it! And having zero HUD to have an immersive movie-like experience. Like in the first mission where you have to follow a car, the game uses the car's blinkers to guide you where to go, which sounds cool in theory, but it was actually not cool at all. Also, if you hit one thing, the car begins to smoke and eventually blow up. Oh, I burned alive. Okay. It also didn't help that everybody was driving on the wrong side of the road. Dude, y'all don't know how to drive, bro. And if you thought the driving was bad, the shooting is even worse. Dude, I don't know how to shoot!
Upstairs,
how do I shoot? The game doesn't tell you any of the controls while you're playing, and this being a PS2 game, the choices are very strange for control. Like, what the fuck? Now, I'm not saying that this game is the worst thing I've ever played. People have said the story is cool and it had potential, but the bad controls and horrible driving mechanics really held it back. But the city of London does look really detailed, and it's a good game for it, right? I think. Now, Scotland didn't have too many games to choose from. I originally played Clanfolk, a knockoff RimWorld taking place in the Scottish Highlands, but it was terribly long and boring. But a lot of people suggested playing Still Wakes the Deep, a horror game set on an oil rig off the coast of Scotland. And I wrote it off originally because that's just technically the middle of the ocean. It's not actually Scotland, but this game is a way better representation. I know that because I can't understand a damn word anyone says.
Put a wee picture of Rennick up on the board for you.
I would have no idea what she was saying if it wasn't for the subtitles. Not gonna lie. It's actually kind of fun playing a game where everyone talks like Shrek.
Well, as as you by the sounds of it.
I was going to try and keep track of all the Scottish slang words I heard. Numpty. Scottish slang. But once I met my boss, it was game over.
Shut your gob, you Ned prick! Shut the boken of you wee gobshites messing with my operation!
He just spat out like 10 slang terms in like 2 seconds. But as for the game itself, I thought it was pretty good. It's only around 4 hours long, so it's more of an interactive movie than anything else, especially because the graphics were really impressive. And yeah, it's technically in the middle of the ocean, but it features real Scotlandian people, Scotlandish accents, and I think it's a damn good game to represent Scotland. Ah, Wales, the only country to be named after an animal. I don't know if that's true, I just made it up. And this brings us to yet another simulator game, except this time, it's trains. How's that noise? Oh, a train. Damn it, no working radio. This is not as good as Flixbus Simulator. Now, unfortunately for me, this game is $30 and the Wales DLC is $40. The DLC is more expensive than the actual game, and it doesn't even come with a working radio. I skipped the tutorial for the game because it couldn't be any harder than driving a bus, right? I mean, there's no stop signs, traffic, police. You kind of just press some buttons and you just go. So now, to go, we just have to probably this thing, right?
Nope, nope. Well, this looks like the go, right? Oh, we're moving! We're moving! Now, from this point on, we just kick back and relax. I mean, no stoplights, no cops. So after hitting every button possible, we finally started our journey from Bristol, England to Cardiff, Wales. But halfway through, the game kept telling me I was speeding and giving me some alert that I ignored until eventually the train just stopped moving altogether. Just turn that off. Oh no, why am I losing power? Why am I losing power? No, what happened? Did I run out of gas? No, that's stupid. There's no way I ran out. What happened? I reloaded the game and picked a different train that I thought would be easier, and I learned it was something called AWS, which stands for Annoying Whittle Pain in My Ass. AWS. What does AWS stand for? All-wheel service? Whoa, my hand. How did I get hands? Oh, look at the RPMs on this baby. And we go. Just ignore that. Basically, if you're going too fast, a bell dings every 20 seconds and you have to press Q to snooze it, and if you don't, the train just stops eventually. That just made things really annoying because the game only works in real time, aka it was actually gonna take me an hour to get there, hence why I was speeding in the first place. But now, looking back in hindsight, there was probably a reason why that warning alarm was going off. Oh my god, this thing's shaking. Hold on, I think I'm going so fast that everything's shaking. I almost derailed right now. Things are getting intense. Oh, look at the people! They're unfazed! Oh, I derailed! No! Thankfully for me, the train derailed in Newport, Wales, so it counts, which just leaves Northern Ireland to finish off United Kingdom, but we'll have to come back to that later because it's complicated. I really debated on playing Overwatch 2 for Portugal, mostly because I wanted to see how it fell off so hard with a mostly negative review score on Steam, but that probably would have pissed off a lot of people, which left me with not very many options. It's a shame there are no detailed open world games taking place there, but it led me to playing a 2016 point-and-click game called The Adventures of Dog Mendoza and Pizza Boy. It follows the story of an ex-pizza boy now working at an occult detective agency led by Dog Mendoza. It kind of reminds me of the Sam & Max game, but not nearly as good, and a lot less sexual tension between the main characters.
Don't tell me how to do my job, pizza boy.
I thought this would actually be about a dog and a pizza boy, but I guess not. But that's probably because you kind of have to be a fan of the comics already to really be into this game. It's definitely a labor of love for fans of the comics and was actually completed after being financed through Kickstarter. However, the entire game does take place in Lisbon, Portugal, where the original comics were published, as well as where the creator of the series is from. Whoa! Lisbon, Portugal! I don't know if that's what it looks like, but it looks pretty cool, right? It has beautiful hand-drawn images of an adventure all over the city, and sure, it's not some big open world game, but it does feel pretty special for Portugal, I think. Yes, I know that a lot of you have been waiting and waiting for Germany, and you probably are expecting something like Wolfenstein. Yes, they are amazing games and probably what you think of when you hear Germany, but I really wanted to try and find something that didn't have anything to do with World War II. I mean, think about it from Germany's perspective. That would be like every single video game in America being about what we did to Native Americans, or the Tuskegee experiment, or MK Ultra. Wait, that last one actually would be a cool video game. Shadowrun is a tabletop role-playing game heavy with sci-fi and fantasy elements, and it has had a number of different video games based off it. My personal experience with the series was the Shadowrun game for Xbox 360 that was multiplayer. Oh my god, that game was so much fun. It just unlocked a deep core memory for me. I completely forgot about this game. Super fun. I miss it. Shadowrun Dragonfall, on the other hand, released in 2014, and it's a turn-based role-playing game kind of similar to Baldur's Gate 3. And although these kinds of games aren't really for me personally, that is too much information for me at once. I am not reading all that. I can recognize a well-crafted and immersive role-playing game when I see one. Did she just fucking die? The game has great reviews and it kind of went under the radar. The entire game is pretty well polished and it kind of feels like a cyberpunk Baldur's Gate 3, so if any of that interests you, I would recommend giving it a shot. And it happens to take place in the future, set in Berlin, Germany, with having absolutely nothing to do with World War II or Nazis. You're welcome, Germany.
Fun fact, Malta used to have the smallest species of pygmy elephant standing at just 3 feet tall. This has nothing to do with the video game that we have to play, I just thought it was cool. Imagine if we had domesticated tiny elephants instead of dogs. Anyways, Chronicles of Mystery: The Scorpio Ritual is a 2008 point-and-click adventure game where you play as Sylvie Leroux, an archaeologist who's sent to some ruins to try and find her mysterious uncle. The game starts in Paris, but immediately after you travel to Malta, and the game spends a large majority of the time there. Whoa, look at the beautiful Malta City. It's very much a story-based game with no time limit or threats or anything, and you just click around trying to solve puzzles and advancing the story. I didn't play too much of it, so I have no real input on if the story is good or bad. Sorry man, I don't really care what you have to say. But despite Malta being a tiny island, I'm surprised I was able to find a game that features it so heavily in the story. You get to explore not only the city, but also some ruins, as well as the second island of Gozo. It's not the most interesting game ever made, and the graphics do feel a little outdated, even for this being 2009, but it's an alright game, and at least Malta has a lot more than just a single level in a video game, right? I struggled really hard to find a single game in North Macedonia. The Wikipedia list doesn't even include a section for it. What the hell is up with that? So I took to my Instagram for help, and someone actually DM'd me a game called ScopeG83. Am I saying that right? It's Scopia. I almost called it ScopeG for the entire video. And someone actually DM'd me a game called Scopia 83. It's not released yet, but there is a demo available. Now, despite the name being based off of the capital city, I wasn't entirely sure that it was actually set there. So I reached out to the devs on Discord, and they did confirm that the streets and buildings are directly copied and inspired from the real city of Skopje. And the game does take place in an alternate history. The developers are even from there, so there is a lot of love put into the game to represent North Macedonia. Wait, hold on a second. What is that? The stop sign is in another language! I do like how it's also 4 letters. Isn't that convenient? It's an open world roguelike survival game with a comic book art style that I absolutely love, and despite it not being a horror game, it can still feel pretty spooky and lonely at times. Oh my god! Jesus! It's got a unique concept to it with some good design choices, and you even get a bus that you get to drive around that doesn't have a rear view mirror, which makes things a little bit difficult. I have no rear view mirror. I can't see. How am I supposed to drive? I also did have a lot of performance issues. Damn it. Damn it. There's still a lot that needs to be added to the game to make it feel more engaging and lively, but overall, it's cool to have an indie developer from this country making a game set in a country that I had trouble finding even a single video game there. It's some really good representation, and I wish them nothing but success on the full release of their game. Hey, so this is editor Skyler again. I just want to say that all of this was edited and recorded before the new Indiana Jones game came out, and obviously that game does have the Vatican in it, and I would have picked that if that came out before I did this, but I already recorded this, so be happy with it. Vatican City takes the prize for being the smallest country in the world with a population of around 800 people. Of course, there isn't going to be a big open world game set there because it would probably be smaller than a Fortnite map, but there's plenty of games that have a small section or mission taking place there. But the coolest hands down has got to be because of a serious guy named Sam. Look, it's Serious Sam, the one and only. The Serious Sam games deserve some praise because no matter which one you play, you know exactly what to expect. A killer soundtrack, a serious guy named Sam, and some absolutely unserious gameplay. I feel like this whole thing is just like, hell yeah. It's an over-the-top boomer shooter that has stuck with their format for so long, and it just works. And the Serious Sam 4 game is no different with just upgraded graphics. It literally feels like you're playing the first Serious Sam game just with better graphics, that's all. And the game does get an A+ from me because despite coming out in 2016, they still included cheats in the game, letting me skip to the mission at the Vatican City because that's 4 hours into the game, and I don't have time for that. So I spent the first 30 minutes dying over and over again because I skipped basically the whole game telling me how to play and all of that, so I really had to learn the ropes. I died. But after finally getting the hang of the game, oh, dude, what the fuck? Kill all. Easy. And putting in some more cheats to give me all the guns. Dude, there's so many different weapons. This is sick. I finally made it to the Pope Mobile, and I completed the coolest mission ever taking place at the Vatican. I feel big and powerful. We're at the Vatican, baby. Why does the top kind of look like a boob? Austria might have one of the most unique and beautiful games taking place there. The Lion Song is an episodic point-and-click adventure game with each episode following 3 different characters: an Austrian composer, scientist, and a painter. No, not that Austrian painter. It's a different one. These are all fictional. Right off the bat, the game makes it very clear that it does take place specifically in Austria. Melk train station. Melk is in Austria. The first 3 episodes follow the stories of each character as they deal with the anxiety of trying to create something from their respective fields. It's very much a story-driven game, with each choice you make having a bigger impact in the final episode titled Closure, where all 3 of their stories finally connect and come full circle. It's a unique, cozy game that can be completed in around 4 hours, and it heavily explores and references the culture of Vienna, and the game is pretty much based entirely around Austrian location. The story is engaging right from the start, and the sound design and music really stand out. For this series, we play a lot of big AAA games, or sometimes some really bad games, but it always feels special when I come across a nice indie game that you can tell was really made with love, and there's not many games that we play that I actually have the drive to want to finish the full thing too, so I think this is a good pick for Austria. Do y'all remember the Bourne Identity movie with Matt Damon? But what about the 2008 PS3 game with the main character that looks nothing like Matt Damon? Who plays Jason Bourne again? Isn't it Mark Wahlberg? Because that looks nothing like him. Apparently they couldn't use his likeness due to creative differences. Damon wanted it to be more like Myst instead of a shooter, which maybe would have been a better choice because the shooting is not its strong suit. Neither is the combat. Dude, these camera angles are really jarring. Or the story. Or anything, really. What am I doing, bro? Like, why can't I just exit cover? I have to press... Did you see how many shots that guy took in the back? That is bullshit. God, dude, this camera angle is making me sick. Don't get me wrong, okay? This game isn't bad, but it definitely feels like a forgettable action game. They even have MasterCard ads scattered throughout the entire game. Oh, I'm gonna whack you right into the MasterCard logo. Is that what you want to be associated with, MasterCard? Me beating the shit out of people? The combat is bare bones, with you just spamming buttons until you build up your meter to do a takedown, except for the stronger enemies, which leads to unnecessarily long fight sequences, and there's a lot of these throughout the game. Oh, I see some papers glowing in the back. I want to grab those. Dude, how is neither of us tired yet? We just keep going and going. Oh, I forgot I have a takedown. Oh, I used the book. I used the glowing thing on the table. Dude, are you serious? He still gets up after that? Can I use the microwave? Shove his head in the microwave. Ah, the fridge, I was close. There we go. How, he's still running after all that? This literally feels like you're playing a movie though. All of these like action sequences and stuff. Oh my God, this is still going on? Ow. My God, dude, this is unnecessarily long. Oh, the sign again. Finally, Jesus Christ, if he gets up again after that. And the camera angles were so bad, it was starting to give me motion sickness and a headache. I can't see! But the game does have plenty of moments that leave you thinking, this is actually pretty cool. Oh, okay, that was actually pretty cool. It was made by the same people that made Dark Watch, and they just have a history of making games that are just cool, I guess. And to get where we needed to go, I had to complete 6 missions in this game, first going to France, then Switzerland, and finally 3 hours later, we made it to Lithuania. What's that say? Republic of Lithuania. Let's go! Vilnius, Lithuania! So are any of these buildings real? Anyone from Lithuania? Do you guys recognize these buildings? Wait. More MasterCard ads? As for the rest of the Baltics, we'll have to come back to that later. I put off Hungary for so long because after doing Castlevania and Felvedek, both of which were kinda technically in Hungary, but not really, I didn't want to disappoint with the game. And although I couldn't find a big open world video game that primarily takes place there, I did come across Hitman Contracts from 2004, which is the remake to the original Hitman games. And arguably, it's one of the most unique video game franchises ever, with the most iconic bald video game character ever made. I skipped to mission number 7, which takes you to a fictional hotel in Budapest. Okay, so I believe this is the Budapest Hotel. And my goal was to beat this mission, despite skipping every single tutorial and having no idea how to play this game. Okay, these are some weird controls though. So right click opens up this wheel.
Oh, I dropped the briefcase. I think I need that, no? It didn't go well at first.
Láthatnám az igazolványát, uram? ID card.
Was he speaking Hungarian? No entrance. Need to find an ID to get in. Oh, I didn't even do anything. Didn't even go in there. Is that a dead body? Oh, maybe this guy has an ID. Oh, there we go. There we go. What? What did I do? It's not working. It's not working. Oh, it worked. I did it. You too. Oh, he's naked. It's not working. It's not working. But once I started to get a hang of the mechanics, I can climb across balconies? That's sick. I made some real progress. I choked out the fat man in the shower, stole the bomb case, eliminated my second target. Damn it. Oh wait, it worked. Secured the bomb, escaped the Budapest hotel, and an hour later, I completed a mission that probably should have only taken 20 minutes, but I finally visited Hungary in a video game. Isonzo is a hardcore World War II video game made by the same people that made Verdun, and unfortunately for me, it has the same player count as Verdun 2. 274. I expected more. But the game takes place in real-life locations all around the Isonzo River near the borders of Italy and Slovenia. Someone on Reddit even put together a list of coordinates matching the map's location to real life, with two maps in particular taking place in Slovenia, Sabontino and Caporetto. I probably said that really bad. But the problem is, there was only one lobby playing the map I needed with only a single player, and it was locked with a password. I'm trying to guess the password. Maybe he... The password was his name. It worked. I'm in his game. I tried making a friend, hoping he would show me around, but he was probably offended that I joined his game, so he left me all alone on the battlefield. There is so much going on. It's just like real war, dude. Wait, I can build? Oh shit, I got shot already? Jesus, I just walked out. I just walked out. I don't even see him in here. Oh, he left. He left! So I made a private match to explore around the map, and I attempted to play as a journalist, documenting the landscape of Slovenia. I'm just here to take pictures. But the AIs had no interest in respecting the laws of war. Oh no! You're not supposed to kill the journalist that doesn't have a weapon. Pretty sure that you just committed a war crime, sir. The game puts you into a lobby filled with AIs, all with actual names, which actually started to freak me out a bit. I'm gonna assume that the names like Adolf Schlachberger are not real. Like, do you think that they're aware that they're just computer programs simulating a war? Like, what if World War II was all just a simulation too? Probably not, but it doesn't help that they also scream pretty realistically after getting shot. Who is crying? But after failing to be a pacifist, I started actually using my weapon, and I started having a lot of fun in this game, which I don't know what that says about me. I got him! I'm not a pacifist anymore. You guys shot me one too many times. Okay. But despite that, we still lost, but at least we made it to Slovenia in a video game. Now, I know I typically avoid the Assassin's Creed games because it's such an obvious choice and nobody wants to sit here and listen to me yap about Assassin's Creed, but picking anything else for Greece would truly be a disservice. There are tons and tons of games set there mostly dealing with ancient Greece, but none of them are as detailed and well-researched as Assassin's Creed Odyssey, a game that I consider to be the best of the new generation of these games. Between Origins, Valhalla, and Odyssey, and when writing this script, I completely forgot about Mirage. Did anyone even like that game? Anyways, the game wastes no time throwing you into the action of a large-scale battle and letting you Sparta kick everyone around you. Let's go! You start on the island of Kefalonia and goes all around Greece with many historically accurate locations added into the map. It's insane comparing real-life places that are just ruins or broken buildings in present day, but being given new life in the game. And after getting past the intro section of the game, I wanted to get a good view of Greece, so I did the first thing that every person did when playing the game for the very first time. There it is right there. I could see my target in the distance. Climb to the tip of Zeus. I thought you got an achievement for it, but I was lied to. They should have made an achievement. I mean the top of Zeus. Nice. We can see all of Greece from up here. Bosnia and Herzegovina is such a cool country that they get two names. But can somebody please explain to this dumb American why they have two names? I don't really understand. But trying to find a video game based here led me to the Siphon Filter series, specifically the 5th game from 2006 called Dark Mirror. And despite me never playing these games before, it was actually surprisingly enjoyable. The controls were decent, the level design was entertaining, and all around it's just a fun game. It's like if you took a low-budget 90s action movie and turned it into a video game, except you actually made it good. All I gotta do is shoot him in the big old red pack on his behind. He's gonna explode, just like the movies.
Questions?
I knew it! Wait!
Target code named.
Is that how easy it was? That's it? Unfortunately for me though, you don't make it to Bosnia until 4 hours into the game, but God bless the people who upload 100% save files for a 20-year-old PS2 game, so I'm able to skip right to chapter 4 and visit Bosnia in a video game. It worked, baby, let's go! But unfortunately for Bosnia, you don't have a big open world AAA video game, but the entire chapter does take place there, and it even specifically mentions a town called Vagasko. What language is he speaking? Is that a Bosnian language? So yeah, it is just a chapter in a video game and it's not primarily taking place in Bosnia. I think it's still pretty good representation for the country, and the Siphon Filter series is actually pretty good, so I consider it a win. I struggled for a very long time to find anything for Serbia, but it did lead me to playing one of the most confusing games I've ever played in my life. At first, I almost went with Resident Evil 6 because the locals actually use a Serbian dialect, but I couldn't find any confirmation that Estonia is actually based specifically on Serbia rather than just a bunch of Balkan countries. But then I came across a game on Steam called Children of Belgrade Metro, but despite the Steam page being in English, the menu options being in English, and the game taking place in Serbia, the entire game is actually in Japanese. I'm very confused. I did use Google Translate while I was playing to somewhat understand, and it's apparently about a girl who moves to Belgrade, Serbia, but I don't even think you can call this a game because everything is just dialogue. Is there any actual gameplay? There's no point and click elements, no walking around, not even dialogue options. It's entirely just reading, and a lot of it too. Like this whole... It's just words. But the game does have a bunch of positive review scores, so in order to understand the game more, I translated the top review. It is a story of depressed and twisted boys and girls. The characters are also decadent and very attractive. I don't think that's what they meant though. Maybe it just means that they look... It's probably a language barrier thing. They probably just meant that the characters, like, are well modeled. I wanted to post some kawaii screenshots, but unfortunately it seems that Steam doesn't allow it. What do you think they mean by that? Oh, but it does say that Serbia is not a member of the EU, and someone in Japan, they're not familiar with it, but it includes tips and explanations about Serbian food and culture, so you can enjoy a bit of sightseeing. That's pretty cool. I mean, there's a lot of Serbian stuff in there, so maybe it's not that bad of a game for it. I'm gonna be real here. I almost gave up on trying to find a video game set in San Marino. Being a very teeny tiny country surrounded by Italy, it was becoming an impossible task. Until I found a game that I guarantee 99% of you have never even heard of because it was released for the Atari Jaguar CD. It's not even for the actual console either. It's an attachment for the Jaguar that played CD-ROMs, and they only sold like 20,000 of them. It also only had like 10 games for it, one of those being World Tour Racing. If you've played this game before, then congrats, Grandpa, and don't forget to pass your social security check. Thankfully, it was surprisingly easy to download a Jaguar emulator on my computer and boot this baby up to some stunning 1997 graphics. Oh, look at these graphics! I feel like I'm really driving there right now. Now, there really isn't much I can say about this game. It's a very archaic racing game with a bunch of pixels, and the story of this game being on some ultra rare video game console was far more interesting than the game itself. I think I might be going backwards now by accident. No, I think I'm going the right way. In fact, if you wanted to play the original copy, it would cost you $90 for the game, a couple hundred for the console, and then $1,000 for the CD-ROM attachment. But it would all be worth it, because right there in the main menu is a track labeled San Marino! It's in there! Let's go, baby! And the country is represented by hundreds of these pixels in the background. Andorra is a country that I have definitely heard of before making this video, but in case you didn't know, it's a teeny tiny country sat between the borders of Spain and France with a population of 80,000 and gaining independence in 1993, all of which are facts that I definitely already knew. So as you can imagine, it was extremely difficult to find a game there, but thanks to a Reddit thread posting this screenshot from a game called Hearts of Iron 4, I had some hope. So I fired up the game, skipped all the tutorials, and put that bitch in easy mode because there's no way in hell I was about to learn how to play a strategy game. I picked a place
high as France, and to my surprise, Andorra wasn't there. Which does make sense, because the game is historically accurate and starts out in 1939, so Andorra wasn't there yet. And even putting the game on the highest speed setting and just sitting back, it would still take a few hours to make it to 1993, and I run the risk of France being taken over because their president was literally doing nothing. Dude, France is really gonna become a powerhouse by just sitting here doing nothing. We'll just put a pause on this and we'll come back in a couple hours later and see if Andorra has popped up, I guess.
6.5 hours later.
But even better, I came across a mod for the game that lets you pick almost any country you want, defying all historical accuracy, and lo and behold, the teeny tiny country
there it is.
Of Andorra was right there. Andorra! I mean, it doesn't look anything like Andorra. So hypothetically, you can have Andorra take over the entire world if you want, but I'm not gonna do all that. 007 Quantum of Solace is yet another movie game from the 2000s, except this one actually doesn't suck. Not only did they get most of the original cast for the movie, including Daniel Craig, but it was developed by Treyarch, which makes it feel like a James Bond Call of Duty game. It's mostly in first person, except for when you take cover, which I thought was kind of weird, so I basically never used it, but the guns feel nice, the controls are snappy, and all around I actually had a lot of fun playing it. It's really nice of them to stop shooting me as I'm taking down their friend. Did I do that? Which is a good thing for me, because in order to get to Montenegro, I had to make it all the way to mission 13, and despite my best efforts, I couldn't find a single save file online to be able to skip to the mission I needed. So I was stuck playing the whole thing. So after shooting a helicopter down with a pistol and watching the badass intro sequence, I strapped myself in for the next 2 hours to play one of the most high-quality video game movie games I've ever played. The boss battles are a little weird though. It's like a little mini game where you're basically playing Osu. Wow, this is a thrilling battle. I love it. I'm having so much fun right now clicking. And now that I've started noticing the Wilhelm scream in video games, I can no longer escape it. Not the Wilhelm scream! Not again! But we traveled to Austria, Bolivia, Madagascar, until making it to the mission where Bond is on a train headed to Casino Royale in Montenegro, and 2 hours later, I finally made it. Oh, what a great, beautiful entrance to Montenegro. Petrovac. I see my goal right there. A balcony door so I can get a good view of outside. We made it, baby! Montenegro! It looks like just how I imagined it, I think. How accurate is this, actually? You guys recognize any of these buildings? Hey. You leave me... What is wrong with his mouth? Finding a video game in Estonia was damn near impossible until I got an Instagram DM that clued me into the perfect game. It's called UOS, I think. It's a multiplayer online game made and funded by the Estonian government with the goal of teaching people real-life skills like applying for a license or doing your taxes. And yes, it's as crazy as it sounds. And although I couldn't confirm that the online world is actually based on a real place, there's no game that gets more Estonian than this. But the only problem is the entire website and sign-up process is entirely in Estonian, but Google Translate did the job well enough. Obviously, the first one says register. Wait. Okay, so it says register, enter the game. Enter the game, and then whatever ABI is. So we'll go with register, I guess. So I finally booted up the game and got this message, which said something along the lines of needing to open my ports and allow the game access, which was super sketchy because Google said that those are the same ports that you have to open to access the dark web. Okay, this comment is saying that 9001 is needed to open for Tor, for the dark net. That's kind of scaring me. But first I tried using a VPN from Estonia and that didn't work, and then I went to their official Facebook page with a single message. UOS has been offering gaming fun for over 10 years. We announced that this year, 2024, will be the last year for this game and we will close the server on December 30th, 2024. It's still open. I still have a chance. I'm barely making the cutoff by a month. That means this is my only chance at playing this game. So I spread my ports open and I gave the game access, and it didn't work. I tried for an hour and absolutely nothing worked. So unfortunately, I won't be able to experience the glory of this Estonian government-made video game, and that means we'll have to find something else, which we'll get back to. Liechtenstein is nicknamed Little Liechtenstein for a reason, and after an endless search, I kept getting brought back to only one game that I've actually played before.
Put your nose sleep, baby, I know, that's that me espresso. That was kind of scary.
Now, the rule for the series is one game per country, but Fernbus Simulator is the only game I can find mentioning it. I downloaded the Austria-Switzerland DLC, and I spent 20 minutes staring at the map because I couldn't find the bus stop or city anywhere marked on there.
Okay, new route, I guess. I guess it's a route. So we're going to Wait, no. What? Not Lithuania. Fuck, what's it called again? Is it Lithuania? No. Liechtenstein. What's the place called again? Liechtenstein. It's Liechtenstein.
And yes, after recording this video, I did learn that it's pronounced Liechtenstein. Everybody laugh at the dumb American, alright? Get your giggles out, get your funnies out. But can we talk about how dumb of a word it is?
Look at that. It's supposed to be I before E, except after C, and then you got IE and then an EI in the same word.
So I plotted a route from Innsbruck to Zurich, figuring that I would pass it somewhere in between. Now, the radio is the best part about the game because jamming out to music makes the drive so much more enjoyable, but all of the songs playing are copyright, and I wasn't about to raw dog a drive music list for 2 hours. But thankfully, I had a solution. Licht is a website that lets you license songs to use on YouTube, but it's not exactly cheap, so I paid $100 for the rights to 3 songs that I'll be able to listen to for the next 2 hours.
Up, down, left, right, and up like Nintendo. Please, 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 don't prove I'm right. No, time you close your eyes, I'm dun and mine. Every time you know it's there, there was already there.
Everything was going smoothly. I was now an experienced bus driver, even able to respond to customer complaints while driving. But 40 minutes into my journey, we encountered an absolute menace on the road.
Whoa! Whoa!
The issue was that the truck despawned, but the collision was still there. So even though I couldn't see it, my bus was stuck inside of the invisible truck. There was no way out of it, and I was forced to restart. And then it happened again.
No, come on. I don't even want to drive through there.
Thankfully, I was able to drive past it this time. Now, I was pretty close to where I thought Liechtenstein would be on the map, but I couldn't find a single sign or reference to it anywhere.
Osfart? Where is Osfart? Where is Osfart? Oh. It means exit. In German.
I went to Google and I couldn't find anyone talking about it except a single YouTube comment pointing out that they couldn't find it either.
Carbonated Turtle says the DLC page mentions Liechtenstein is included, but not even Vaduz is listed as one of the cities. How much Liechtenstein actually is there? Even one stop? No, Carbonated Turtle, there's not even a single stop. I can't even find it.
It seemed like only me and one other person in the world cared that Liechtenstein was completely missing, despite the Steam store page specifically mentioning it. I can deal with a bus stop not being there, but like not even a marker on the map or anything. So I kept driving around, endlessly following the fictional highways and trying to line up where I was on the real highways, and then this happened.
I'm done, but I'm still waiting. What to me? Wait, hold the phone. I think that sign just said Vaduz. I need to back up. I gotta back up. I want to see it. I need to see the sign. There it is. It's a sign. It's mentioned.
But after following the signs, they end up just stop mentioning it, and you don't even see the city of Vaduz anywhere, really. I didn't understand. It didn't make sense, so I was just driving around endlessly some more. So, after sitting there and comparing the game map to the real map and lining up all the freeways, I can confidently say that the 191 goes through Liechtenstein, and that this unmarked area is most likely the city of Vaduz.
Realistically, I think that is the best that we could call. That is the city of Vaduz. We made it.
Fernbus Simulator. Liechtenstein deserves a bus stop in your game. That's 40,000 people with no access to public transportation. It would be impossible to complete this challenge without playing Euro Truck Simulator 2, and the day has finally come because they have the Baltic DLC, which goes to both Latvia and Estonia, both of which were absolutely impossible to find video games for. The DLC also covers Lithuania as well, which is kind of cool because the game that I picked for it was just one mission in the video game, so it's cool they get some more recognition here. So for that, we started in Lithuania with the goal of making it to Latvia and Estonia. Now, I already played American Truck Truck Simulator for the United States video, and back then I already thought it was a very immersive game. But this time I booted it up in VR and it broke my little brain.
Dude, look at me, I'm like a real trucker! This is so much better! I can actually lean out the window. That's sick. Okay, where's my beer?
This was truly the way that the game was meant to be played, because it just one-upped the immersion tenfold. You can actually look both ways when driving, and you can physically lean out of your window. I was so immersed at one point I even tried using my finger to roll down the imaginary window.
See, like, oh my god, I'm an idiot. Like, instinctively, I wanted to go roll down my window.
But also to spice things up a bit, I also tried installing the weirdest mods I could find.
Okay, we'll get a little kitty. Oh, we can get R2-D2? No, it's gonna take up too much space.
However, when I went to finally play the game, most of the mods didn't even seem to be working, except the most important one.
It worked!
Now I did see that in order to use the super fast trucks mod, you have to install it by going to a dealership. But after completing the tutorial delivery and upgrading my truck, it didn't seem to be going very fast. Until I realized in the settings that there was a speed limiter on by default for some reason.
There we go, baby! Oh my god! We fixed it! Oh my god! Oh.
Now, for the most part, going 200 kilometers an hour wasn't actually that hard until you start having to use the brakes.
Oh, this is a good long stretch. Okay. 180. 200 kilometers per hour. Oh! Where are we at? 225? Oh, this is getting difficult now. Thank God there's no cars. 265? Okay. We gotta start slowing down. No!
After my tragic accident, the tow truck took me straight to Riga, Latvia, which kind of killed the whole trip, but I mean, we did make it there and we got to see the city, so all that's left was to make it to Estonia. But I've already been driving for 2 hours at that point, and it was getting a bit too quiet for me, so I turned on the radio.
Think about me every night, oh, down the street I kiss so. I'm working late, cause I'm a singer. When it looks so cute, wrapped around my finger. I'll hold your back together, and if that's true, heartbreak is one thing, my ego's another. We made it, chat. We're in Estonia, the capital of Estonia, baby. We have completed the Balkans, and we are almost done with the entire continent of Europe. Let's go!
Now, the rule has been just one video game per country for this series, but Albania, Northern Ireland, and Moldova were absolutely impossible to find video games for, except they somehow are all featured in one single video game. Chameleon is a 2005 PC game that actually never got released in the United States. It was made by a small Czech studio, and surprisingly, the game wasn't that bad aside from the extremely creepy graphics. Like, I think this was a trend for some 2000 video games where they took like a photorealistic face and put it on a video game character. I don't know the name for it, I don't even know what to Google, but it just looks so creepy here. And look at him as a kid, dude, it's so creepy. They used the same face but just slapped it on a kid. You play as a CIA agent trying to avenge the death of your parents, and each mission takes you to a different part of the world where you use stealth to eliminate enemies and complete objectives. And if that sounds like Hitman to you, that's because, yeah, it's just basically Hitman. Except you can also play in first person, which I think makes the game even better, and also dragging the bodies around feels super satisfying for some reason in this game. There was also some other issues with the game, like mostly the sound. When you tase someone, their body just falls straight to the floor with no noise. And sometimes the guns just don't even make any sound. Oh shit. Oh fuck. Wait. Is he shooting? Where's the gunshot noises? I don't know if that's the way I downloaded the game, so I'll chalk it up to that, but I will say that the AI is actually downright stupid. Oh my god, I got him! He turned around, and I still got him! There are many times in this game where an enemy should have been able to see me, and I'm just completely invisible to them. Maybe over there? Fuck. Yes. But aside from those issues, the gameplay was actually somewhat decent. I was having a good time. The very first mission takes us to Belfast, knocking Northern Ireland off our list, but the crazy part is that right when you spawn in, there's a building, and I googled the name of the building, and it's actually a real place in Ireland. It's a real place.
Holy Cross Girls Primary School is a real place in Belfast, Northern Ireland. We've been here all of 2 seconds, and I can confirm that this is a real location. This is great. Mission 4 is literally called an airport in Albania, but when you look up the airport, lo and behold, it's an actual real airport in Albania. Kukesi Airport, Albania. And by my guesses, I bet it's a real place. Albania, yeah. So it's a real airport. A real airport in Albania. That is sick. And finally, Mission 6 takes us to a train station in Moldova, except none of the signs tell me where exactly in Moldova this is, so I'm not really entirely sure where this is supposed to be. And also, when you Google the name of the city on the map, it puts me in Russia for some reason, so I'm really not sure where this is, but it says Moldova, so it counts. Which means that we only have one country left to visit. After 3 months of traveling Europe in video games, we have finally made it to the final video game. Google defines jalopy as an old car in a dilapidated condition, which is what the game Jalopy is about. And my livestream chat kindly informed me that I was pronouncing jalopy wrong the entire time I was playing the game. You say wait, jalopy? How else would you say it? I literally thought, I don't even know how else you would say it. Jalopy? Jalopy? It's probably jalopy, isn't it? The game is similar to My Summer Car, where you need to build and maintain parts of the car in between each city, making sure to fill up on gas, changing the tires, fixing the engine, all while Uncle Lutfi sits there being absolutely useless. Everything's so expensive. Unc, you're gonna have to start busting it down. Making some money for us. Pull your weight, dude. But it's all right. He's old. He gets a pass. Look how cute he is sleeping. He's a cutie. He's a cutie pie. Thankfully, you don't need to know nearly as much about cars in this game to get it running, and there's only about 6 or 7 pieces that you need to maintain. Also, your Leica is running a 2-stroke engine. 2-stroke. That's not many strokes. 2-stroke engine is the nickname my girlfriend calls my penis. I was determined to have absolutely nothing go wrong because according to how long to beat, it takes about 6 hours to beat the game. And I was determined to be under that because that would officially make it the longest game I had to play to get to my target country. And if anything goes wrong, you have to push the car the rest of the way, which could easily add an extra hour to my trip. And for the most part, we did pretty good at making sure everything was perfectly in order before heading out to the next city. I always made sure to fill up on gas, made sure the tires were in perfect condition. I even did something I don't bother doing in any other game. I tried really hard not to crash until I forgot one crucial step. Why won't the car start? That is fine. We got fuel. That's fine. The battery is 0% charge. Oh, this is ass. Can I call AAA or something? I thought I saw a gas station in the distance, so I figured it'd be faster to walk there and just come back with a new battery until I realized my wallet! You're right, I forgot my wallet! Everything you do in this game is a very tedious process, including paying for things, so it leads to a lot of wasted time just walking back and forth between your car and the store. Can I just hold my wallet in my back pocket like a normal person? Why do I need to keep going back and forth? But no matter how careful I was, no matter how well I took care of my car, nothing could stop the glitches. What the fuck? What am I hitting? No, dude, what am I hitting? Dude. Oh! Why is your goddamn door open? Oh my god. Oh my god, the stairs. The stairs are broken. Look at this shit. I gotta go backwards. Wait, what the? Am I stuck in here? All right, and what the fuck was that? But since this game is a road trip, we got to drive across a bunch of other countries too, like starting in Germany, making our way through Hungary, crossing the border into Bulgaria, and after 5 hours of driving a fictional dilapidated car across Europe with my old useless uncle, we finally made it to Istanbul, Turkey. Istanbul! 350 miles, let's go! Kilometers, I mean. It's Istanbul! I see it in the distance! Well, look, the Turkish flag. And that guy. I'm happy that we are finally done with Europe and on to the next videos we do. But all right, chat. I'll see you guys. Have a good one. And it started to make me reminisce on the past 3 months of my life. Sure, it's just a video game, and I didn't actually get to go to these places in real life, but I still learned so much about each country as I played games from there. But most importantly though, I feel less like a dumb American who doesn't know as much about the other side of the world. But what's really cool about this game, and why I saved it for Turkey specifically, is that you even drive across the bridge to make it to the Asian side of Turkey as well. Which means that
We're in a whole nother continent to explore.